When stopping at such a word, you will elongate the alif here because it is a case of connected med. A med letter followed by a hamza in the same word. So we elongate for 4 or 5 harakat. But here's the thing. Since we are also stopping here, we may also elongate the alif based on the fact that it is a med letter and it is the letter before last, making it a case of temporary med or meddun عارض للسكون, which can be elongated for 2, 4, or 6 counts. If you're not yet familiar with the different types of med, then start with this playlist. So there are in fact 2 different rules that can be applied to this word. So the question here is, which rule should we apply when stopping? Is it 2, 4, 5, or 6 harakat? Well, this question is answered through the rule of the stronger of 2 causes, or in Arabic, قاعدة أقوى السببين. So what is this? Well, simply put, it is a hierarchy system for the different types of med according to their strength. This hierarchy helps us resolve conflicts where 2 rules apply to the same letter, like the example we've seen at the beginning of this lesson. And it also helps us make proper choices when reciting. So what is this hierarchy and how can we properly use it? Well, the scholars of Tajweed ordered 5 types of med from strongest to the weakest as follows. First, med lazim. Second, connected med. Third, temporary med. Fourth, disconnected med. Fifth, med al-badal. So, the med lazim is elongated for 6 counts. Connected med can be elongated for 4 or 5 counts. Temporary med can be elongated for 2, 4, or 6 counts. Disconnected med can be elongated for 4 or 5 counts. And finally, meddul badal can only be elongated for 2 counts. Now, the first question that comes to mind, where is the rest of the other types of med? Where is med al-iwad, meddul lin, meddul farq, and others? Why are they not included in this hierarchy? Well, this hierarchy concerns the rules that can have a conflict with one another. If there are rules that just don't simply cause conflicts with one another, there's no reason for them to be included here. So the conflicts that can occur only within these 5 types. But then, on what basis was this hierarchy made? What makes one type of med stronger than another? Well, first, it is based on their length, but also the riwayah. For example, every single riwayah and tariq agree on the fact that med al-lazim is elongated for 6 counts, the longest, and so it is the strongest. But connected med is narrated as 4 and also 5, and it is unanimously narrated as an elongated type of med, and so on. So each type of med has their strength based on their length and the riwayah. Now, for the important part, how can we actually use this hierarchy system to recite properly? First, we use it when deciding on the length of connected and disconnected med, especially because there is more than one option in how long they are. So, connected med must be elongated for 4 or 5 counts, while disconnected med is optional. If you decided to elongate it, it can also be elongated for 4 or 5 counts. But here's the thing, the disconnected med can never be longer than the connected med because it is weaker than the connected med. So, in other words, if you choose 4 counts for the connected med, then you can only choose 4 counts for the disconnected. But if you choose 5 harakat for the connected med, then you may choose 4 or 5 for the disconnected med. That's why I always prefer to elongate the connected med for 5 counts and the disconnected med for 4 counts. This way you will always know that even if you miss the timings a little bit, they would still fall within reasonable margin that the weaker med will never be longer than the stronger one. Secondly, and importantly, we can use this hierarchy to resolve conflicts in case two rules can be applied on a single letter. For example, this word, the letter alif, looking at it from this side, we can consider it maddul badal of two counts, like in the word amanu. But at the same time, looking at it from this side, it is followed by a letter with shadda, making it a mad lazim case. And so the stronger cause would be elongating it as a mad lazim, which will decide this conflict. And so we'll elongate 6 counts, not 2. And for this reason, we have the mad symbol on alif to indicate the resolution. So this conflict has already been indicated for you, and you don't need to resolve it yourself. It has already been indicated in the mushaf. But not every conflict is indicated for you, like stopping at this word. Let's say these are your med choices in this recitation. For connected med, you elongate 4 counts, and temporary med 2 counts, and so the hierarchy would look like this. If you stopped here, you will either apply connected med or temporary med because of the stopping. But due to my choices, the stronger cause would be the connected med, and you would elongate for 4 counts, so no problems. However, if these were your choices, the connected med 4 harakat and the temporary med you elongated for 6 harakat, then this would be the hierarchy, because the temporary med would be considered a type of mad lazim of 6 counts. Now in that case, if you stop here with these choices, then you must elongate for 6 counts, not 4, because the temporary med in that position would be the stronger cause, and you would follow it in this case. Another option is if you recited the connected med as 4 and the temporary as 4, then this would be the hierarchy, and you won't have any conflicts. Applying either or both rules doesn't make any difference. Let's have another example. The word ri'a. This alif can get 2 counts considering it as mad al-badal. It can also be 4 or 5 counts considering it a connected med. But it can also be 2, 4, or 6 counts considering it a temporary med. If these were your choices in this recitation, then you will have to elongate 5. But if these were your choices, then you will have to elongate for 6. And here's one more possibility. And in this case, you would then elongate for 4 counts. So, all in all, the bottom line is, if you understand this hierarchy system and how it works, any case that you come across will be easy to deal with and resolve any conflicts without a problem, inshallah. Finally, because of such concept, we always advise beginners and those who haven't mastered Tajweed yet to stick to one choice and only work with that choice. This both helps to master the timings and get it as accurate as possible, and it also gives you much less work in cases of conflicts, since there will always be giving the same resolution. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my latest books with their video courses if you want to learn the Quran in Arabic or properly learn its Tajweed. Check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, inshallah.